When I go back to being a teenage mum and having this beautiful baby in my arms and being asked less than 6 weeks later, to have this first round of immunisations, which, to be frank, I had no idea about what they were, and my experience as a teenager was vastly different to my experience now. And I remember ringing up my mum and asking her, "Mum, they've just asked me, do I want to vaccinate my baby?" And she said, "Oh yeah, we do that. And that was all it took for me, was that there was this amazing leader in our whānau who said, "We do this." And so that's the first reason I got vaccinated, was because my mum vaccinated me. She encouraged me to vaccinate my kids. The second reason is that I 100% absolutely trust our Māori doctors, and our Māori doctors are all over the research. Te rōpū whakakaupapa uruta is made up of Māori doctors and other health professionals, and I trust them. If you're going to ask me, do I know every single part of every bit of research about the vaccine? No, I don't. Do I need to? No, personally I don't, because I trust our Māori doctors. I think that supporting the Māori health providers to provide the vaccination rollout from the beginning was the answer, but now here we are. And I think that it's about supporting Māori to provide this to Māori Tangata Whaiora. That's my true belief about it. For some of us, the vaccination may feel like a forced thing, even though it's not legislated, like say the Mental Health Act. But the whakapapa of that for Tangata Whaiora and for us as people accessing health services will be that feeling forced. And so feeling forced to do anything is never good. Although the COVID vaccination is not legislated, to lots of whānau, to lots of us, it's felt rushed, and it's felt like we don't have all the information, or that we don't have access to all the information. And that's very similar to the experience of going into mental health services. When you're not doing well, you're distressed, you're feeling really stuck, that the system puts you under a legislated Mental Health Act and forces treatment upon you. So although to some people, and these people may not be Tangata Whaiora or whānau accessing health services, it may appear as though no one's being forced, but to people who have a whakapapa of being forced to receive treatment against their will, being put into solitary confinement, being restrained, being given major tranquilizers, this may feel like that. It's really difficult to talk about how we assist whānau accessing health services to make a good decision without acknowledging the totally inequitable rollout of the vaccination program. It wasn't te tiriti based from the start. At one stage it felt like Aotearoa was in this holiday bubble away from the rest of the world. Even though we knew that COVID was coming, it didn't feel like that, and I think we missed the boat with that. And in order for something to be te tiriti based, it's about having Māori leading from the start and supporting Māori to lead from the start. There's a absolutely incredible rōpū of Māori doctors, and they know all the stuff about COVID, and they've been, telling the government for months and months that this is what needs to happen. This is what our whānau need. But actually, in order for all of that to happen, we have to be working from that te tiriti-based lens, which is we know that it's going to take more services for Tangata Whaiora, for Māori in general. We need to let whānau know that this is their choice, that this is our choice, our whānau choice. I want to steer away from this idea of individuality, and that's quite simply because I think it perpetuates the problems with the rollout. As Māori, we want to think about our whānau, we want to think about our hapu, and we want to think about our iwi. What are some of the ways that we can get whānau and Tangata Whaiora to make an informed choice about the vaccination? I think firstly, it's really simple, and we have to go back to this really age-old way, and we just need to sit and wānanga. And it's never too late, and we need to remember that it's never too late to sit with whānau and wānanga whatever's going on. Because for some whānau, it might be just a tiny little question about, I've got asthma as well, and can I have the COVID vaccination? But for others, it might be something really deep-seated, like actually, I don't trust the government, and I don't want to do this, because I feel like I'm being forced. And you know what, all of those points are valid, but it's actually about sitting and doing wānanga about that. Because, for some whānau, they'll be thinking about, is there an alternative? Can we use rongoa Māori instead of? Or can we use it as well as? Or can I eat well and exercise lots, and will that keep me safe from, COVID? And the really cool thing about wānanga is that we can enter into that space and provide good information, step back and allow that whānau to make an informed decision. But if we don't sit there and wonder about what's going on and what's preventing this whānau from making a decision, if they're on the fence about getting the vaccination, it's whatever's going on for that whānau. We just need to sit with that whānau, wonder what's going on, provide good information, and allow that whānau, their mana motuhake, to make that decision. It's not really how I see my future, it's more how I hope to be in the future, and that's that I just want to be a really good ancestor. And in order to do that, it's about making decisions that protect our whakapapa, that protect our tamariki and mokopuna, and to do that, it's my belief that we've got to get vaccinated.